There are a few members of Congress who have introduced legislation to abolish ICE. And I've heard recently that we may bring that to the floor and let us find out for sure if they're really going to vote to propose this, I think, very kind of dangerous legislation. But, it's time for them to put up or shut up. And I think if that legislation comes to the floor and they really believe it, then they should vote for it. A disturbing trend to attack the ICE officials, and these are people that are really just law enforcement. They're trying to protect our borders. They're trying to keep Americans safe. And to say that we need to abolish ICE, I think, is really coming out of a really left-wing kind of socialist movement that almost has an open borders feel to it. It's coming out of well-known people in our, Cynthia Nixon, who's challenging Governor Cuomo, Kirsten Gillibrand, who has called for the abolition of ICE. And it confounds me that they don't have the respect for our law enforcement arm. Now, is ICE a perfect organization? Probably not, but they're trying to do a very difficult job. Look, like with every group of human beings, there is not perfection. We are all flawed in some way or another. I think in law enforcement, they're doing a very difficult and challenging job. I think sometimes their resources may not be the best. And a lot of these things that are happening in law enforcement, whether it's police, ICE, FBI, as we're saying, many things are judgment calls, and you can always criticize them, just like a doctor, like a doctor in a malpractice case. A lot of this is judgment, and it's not perfect. But I think if we continue to endeavor to find out the causes, instead of just assessing blame against somebody, find out the root cause, find out who the good members are that are in our law enforcement community and who aren't, and continue to train and provide more resources so that we can do a better job. It's never going to be perfect, but certainly striving for a higher ideal. May not like the fact that they're enforcing the borders, but they're doing a job to keep us safe. And I think what people forget is, yes, there are a lot of people probably coming to our border who are seeking asylum legitimately. They should be going to the ports of entry and making their case there. But there are also a number of people who are not, who are lacking goodwill, who are human traffickers, who are drug traffickers, who are trying to cause harm or profit off of American citizens and harm them. So I think that's, to abolish ICE is really, I don't understand where they're coming from with this.